Welcome to Straight Up Paleo, where we talk all things nutrition straight up. I'm one of your hosts, Christina Rice. I'm a holistic health coach and a nutritional therapy practitioner in training currently living in Los Angeles. I'm also the creator of the health and wellness blog addictedtolovely.com and the host of the Actually Adultish podcast.
And I'm your other host, Kara Halderman. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner from Dallas, Texas, creator of careaboutit.com, and co-host of the Low Carb Conversations podcast. In this podcast, we will be discussing all things paleo, health, and nutrition, along with answering questions straight from you.
If you want to submit a question for us to answer on the podcast, head to straightuppaleo.com or email us at straightuppaleo@gmail.com.
Remember our disclaimer. The materials in this podcast are only to be used for advice and are not to be used in place of general medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
If you want to support the show, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a rating and a review on iTunes. Enjoy the show! Sup, Kara?
What's going on?
You know, I'm feeling like a slug today, as I think you are too. It's actually a beautiful day here in Los Angeles.
Same.
It is dark and dreary, and I'm loving it because it feels like fall.
It is fall in Texas now. I'm really excited about it. But yeah, I'm feeling like slow brain fog.
Oh God. Okay, let's tell everybody what happened this weekend. What happened to you?
I went too hard in the paint. I never go out. I just don't go out because I really like to sleep, you know? I
sleep
really
more than
love
anyone
sleeping.
else I know.
Yeah, I really love sleeping, and I prioritize sleep over everything else. But we went to the Zed concert on Thursday, and then we went to a Halloween party, and I was out till 4 a.m. both of these days and consuming more alcohol than normal and sugar and late night food. So yeah, I'm over here recovering.
The fact that you drank a regular pumpkin spice latte, did you actually drink it?
No, I really drank it. I have been craving a regular pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks for a very long time, and I thought about the consequence. I thought the whole thing through. I'm like, okay, what's going to happen to me if I drink this pumpkin spice latte? And I just thought through all of it, and I was like, okay, worth it doing it. And I got one with coconut milk, and I made it decaf because I knew if I had caffeine plus the amount of sugar that was in there, I would die. Mm-hmm. So I did it, and I'm not kidding you, I actually didn't have any blood sugar crashes. I felt the same.
Dang.
Yeah, I felt exactly the same. I know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe my blood sugar's just been so messed up that I didn't even notice. You know? But
or you're better than you think, or you're really stable. Your body can handle it.
Yes. And okay, what I'm doing is I announced this on Instagram. I've been saying for the past 5 months, I'm like, I need to do a sugar detox for the past year.
Guys, Kara literally texts me that every single time she has a ton of sugar over the weekend. She goes, I'm doing a sugar detox, and it literally lasts one day.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. I need some outward accountability, some other humans. So I'm doing no sugar November, but it's really not the whole month of November. It's basically just up until Thanksgiving because I know everyone's going to eat pie and stuff. Duh. So I'm going to. So starting November 1st, this podcast comes out November 2nd, so that's cool. If you want to join, just follow me on Instagram. I'm not doing anything really formal about it or anything. I'll probably just post about it every day. But no sugar November until Thanksgiving. Follow me on Instagram at Kara_boutit and join along so we can feel really good when we eat our pie on Thanksgiving.
I'll be joining in by default because I literally have not had sugar in 9 months, and I might almost be done with it though.
Oh my gosh, that'd be a miracle.
I retest my the date of the timeline. It ends November 15th, so I'm gonna retest mid-November, and we'll see what comes back on my gut results, and we'll see if I can start adding some foods back in.
I'm sending you anti-candida vibes
Thank you.
over
I
here.
mean, I'm I'm a little nervous about it, but we'll see. Yeah, so I'll join in on that. But either way, I'm eating sugar on Thanksgiving, obviously.
Duh.
And speaking of Thanksgiving, you guys, my holiday ebook with my friend Kaylee is out, and I'm obsessed with it, and you need to pick it up. It's called Gratitude, a Healthy Holiday Guide for a Paleo Thanksgiving. And if you use the code straight up paleo, you'll get 20% off. And you can pick it up on my blog, addictedtolovely.com, or you can go to bit.ly/gratitudehhg and get it there. So fun. We have a ton of amazing, amazing Thanksgiving recipes, and they're all paleo. Most are vegan as well. And then we have this whole beginning section that's like all lifestyle sections. So we talk about mindset, we talk about digestion, exercise, how to deal with family drama. We have a little organization checklist, grocery shopping checklist, what you need to do to prep, turkey roasting chart, just all of the things that you'll ever need
Dang.
to know about Thanksgiving or any holiday. So highly suggest you pick it up. It's amazing.
So you talk about working out and like mindset around holidays. That's kind
Yeah.
of cool. You
We
don't
go
really
through
hear a lot
like
of people talk about that.
Yeah, because I mean, it comes up a lot with the holidays. Like, people will do some weird things with exercise because it's Thanksgiving, right? Or
Right.
we address all the family issues. Like, all of these things people don't understand, like, are tied into food as well, and Thanksgiving isn't just about eating,
Mm-hmm.
it's about so much more. So we wanted to incorporate everything in there. So
Coolio.
I'm super pumped.
Love
Yeah,
it.
pick it
Everyone
up.
go
Yeah.
get your copy ASAP. But other than that, you have some other cool things. You just got back from Seattle,
I did
right?
last night. Last night,
How'd it
I
go?
did. It was really fun. I love Seattle. I was visiting my friend Les from the Balanced Berry. If you don't follow her, you should totally follow her. Her blog is thebalancedberry.com, and we just hung out, we cooked, we watched Halloween movies, and I was just like in heaven because the leaves were actually orange, and we were like, there was a fireplace in her little house, and like I'm stuck in my studio apartment, and it's so nice for me to be in, like, how I get when I'm like in a house, like it's just
Mm-hmm.
so nice. So it was just really fun, and she's a personal trainer. She trained me for a while, and if you want a trainer, she trains people online. So definitely check her out because she is like the best person ever. But we did a TRX workout yesterday because I had never done TRX before, and I really wanted to try. And I am literally so sore. Like, I feel like I can't move because my abs just hurt so bad.
TRX is hard. It looks
It's so
easy.
hard.
It looks easy.
I
You're like, oh,
know.
these little whatever they are. What are they? They're not bands. They're like the um I don't know the word.
It's like one large band, but
Yeah,
it's really
it's
hard.
hard.
And
So
I'm
I bet.
gonna buy one now because I'm obsessed with it, and like I'm so bad at it, so I want to like use it,
Mm-hmm.
and
You can
get
do a
better.
million things with it too. Oh, that's such a good idea. I should get a TRX band. You just
Yeah.
you just made me have an epiphany. I'm trying to cancel my gym membership, so I'm thinking of all the ways I can work out at home now.
Yeah, all you need is literally if you have a TRX, a kettlebell and or dumbbells, like you don't ever need to go to a gym, in my opinion. I mean, I never
Basically.
go to a gym, so
Yep.
and I'm just
Christina's
bulky AF.
ripped.
I actually do have big muscles
It's
for my
true.
size, my little size.
It's true.
But
It's true.
yeah, it was super fun. And we recorded a podcast too for Actually Adultish. So that was good. And now I'm just like tired and trying to like, okay, you guys, this is what happened though. Digestively, I was a mess because last week I had the smoothie and
Oh no.
I put Vital Proteins, beauty greens in it, and I literally haven't had that stuff in like probably a year and a half. And um, I have no words other than it truly destroyed me, and it destroyed me and for 5 days.
Oh my
So
God.
I have PTSD from that stuff, and I'm throwing away my container. I have
Christina has a
nothing else to
sensitive
say.
stomach. That doesn't mean it's gonna destroy you. She's a
Yeah.
little sensitive, but
Well, I
uh,
also realized I'm an idiot because that stuff probably expires.
ooh, how old was it?
I mean, it's like a year old. I didn't even think about it. Honestly, I didn't even think about it. And I'm sure it was expired because there's like spinach and kale and stuff in it.
Ooh, man. It probably was expired. And the fact that
Yeah.
it had like wheatgrass and barley grass on top of it probably didn't help. And, a lot of people have digestive issues with that.
Yeah, I'm an idiot, so don't do. I mean, I just wasn't thinking, but yeah, that's my situation now. And so today I'm just trying to like redo everything in my
I'm trying to
life.
start over my life
I'm
right
just gonna
now.
start over. I did my laundry. I feel like a new woman, trying to, I don't know. Yeah, so that's that situation. Also, one other update for me is if you still want to join my Paleo for Women program, do it because this will come out this week. So the class is starting next Tuesday. So it's a 5-week program. It's basically like getting coaching for me for 5 weeks, but with a few other people, like with you. So you get weekly live video training calls with me, and you'll get access to the private Facebook group and weekly PDFs and little assignments. And you can ask me anything and everything. And it's going to be so much fun. Just everything about paleo for women, talking about why it's different for women, how it's different for women, how to make it a lifestyle, biggest mistakes women run into in health in general, all of the things. So you can go to my website to sign up, addictedtolovely.com, and it's under programs. I'm pumped.
Yay! It's a wicked deal, you guys. So check it out. She's got some really cool stuff out right now. Her ebook, that paleo thing, and yeah,
The paleo
she
program.
basically she's doing things over there, and I'm like not.
You're doing things. It's like weird because it's like just all the stuff I've been working on all happens at once,
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm just like really excited, and yeah,
You
that's
should
that's
be.
new with me. Do you have
Cool.
any other updates?
No, I really don't have any other updates other than I mentioned I'm becoming a private chef, and I pretty much like I start my first gig like next week. First gig
Woohoo!
ever in Dallas. So if you need a private holistic chef, hit me up. That's me. I guess that's what I'm calling
Mhm.
myself now, but I'm really excited because I love cooking and it's the bomb. So,
And you're amazing at it. You're like one of the best cooks in America, so
LOL, probably not. I want to go on Chopped one day though.
you should.
I watch so much of it.
My dream is for me to be one day just watching Real Houses of Dallas, and all of a sudden you're in there and you're the private chef, and I'm like, oh my God,
I know her.
Sarah, I know her. That would be so fun.
That's so funny. I'm gonna make that happen.
Yeah, do
Mark
it.
my words, you guys. I'm gonna make that
Yeah,
happen.
that's the goal. No, I'm so excited for you. That's amazing. I cannot wait to see all of the beautiful creations.
Thanks. I'll have to take more pics and actually post them this time.
Yeah, changing lives over there.
I know.
Changing lives.
Changing lives. Okay. But I think we've updated everyone
Yeah.
on all the things. Want to just jump into questions?
Yeah. Okay. Hi, girls. Just started listening to your podcast this past week and I love the info. I am lactose intolerant and I have been off gluten, not celiac, but sensitive as well for 5 years. My husband and I have been working on his diet for a few weeks now and have figured out he is very sensitive to dairy as well. He has been doing really well with adapting, but his biggest problem is finding a substitute for whey protein powder. He is an avid weightlifter and has always used whey and cannot find another protein powder that he likes works as well. Do you have suggestions? He has heard whey isolate is better than the alternative whey protein powder, but hasn't tried it yet. He has tried bone broth protein, hated it, and my Vega 1 proteins, doesn't hate it, but doesn't love it. I'd be interested in switching to a better dairy-free protein powder as well. Thanks.
Cool. Well, that's a really short question. We just wanted to get it out of the way. Haha, get it out of the way. Okay.
Clever, Kara.
Guys, my delirium is getting to me a little bit right now.
It's real.
It's real. Okay, what kind of suggestions do you have for her husband?
Okay. Have we talked about my issue with protein powders?
I
I
think
feel like you know.
we've briefly touched on it here, but
I
talk
just,
about it.
I just have a thing about with protein powders, and I feel like people are way too dependent on them, and I'm just like, why do you need protein powder? Like, I just don't think that protein powder should be something that's regular in somebody's diet. Personally, it's a processed food. So I'm just always first choice is whole foods. Like, you don't need protein powder like I think it's better to eat a post-workout meal and get some real protein in there. That's my opinion, and so many of them have things that I don't like. I will use Vital Proteins collagen instead of protein powder. That is my choice because collagen has a ton of benefits. It can help with muscle repair, joint health, all of those things as well. But if you have to have a protein powder, there are, I mean, my thing is if you have to have a protein powder, I vote less ingredients better, the better. I personally don't like if it has stevia or any other flavorings, like whatever the protein base is, that should be the sole ingredient, in my opinion. So for example, I know that there's like a hemp protein from Nutiva that's just 100% hemp protein, or you can get egg white protein. I know Now Foods has one that's just 100% pure egg whites. One protein powder I actually do like are the Philosophy ones. Have you ever tried those? There's Green Dream and I think it's Cacao Bliss, but those are the only like flavored protein powders I would ever suggest because they don't contain sweeteners in them. And it's just filled with like superfoods. So like the cacao one, it could be like a chocolate version. And those I believe are hemp based. When it comes to protein powder, I try and keep it to something like a seed. So like a pumpkin seed protein, a hemp seed protein, or egg white protein, or what's another one? Yeah, I also know Paleo Pro, the natural one. I don't think it's just I don't think that one has any weird things in it. It's just beef and egg whites, but you have to make sure when you're looking at these things that it's from 100% grass-fed animals. And same for anybody, if you're doing a whey protein, I would make sure it's 100% grass-fed whey. Those are just kind of my general things. I just stay away from the natural flavors and the stevia. Like protein powders have turned into a way for people to just like drink sugary drinks, I feel, or like sweet drinks like all the time. And there's also this big myth in like the fitness community that you like need to down a protein shake after you weight lift, like you need all this extra protein. All of that is just a big myth. So that's kind of my my spiel
on it. Cool. So my take on protein powder is similar to yours. I do think that you should prioritize real food protein sources over protein powder. However, I'm the person that I do have protein shakes like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 times a week, usually on days that I do work out and lift heavier, just because I just enjoy them. I really like them and I love smoothies. And I think if you're going to do that, then you need to pick super, super high quality protein powders, like Christina was saying. Collagen protein is really great as long as you're getting it from a trusted source like Vital Proteins, or honestly, that's the only one I use. So I don't know any other good trusted sources. Or, however, collagen is really not a good protein for muscle building. So what I would recommend and what I recommend to a lot of my clients is mixing collagen with another protein. So mixing it with a hemp protein or a pea protein, an organic pea protein, or even a beef protein isolate. That's what the Paleo Pro is made from. It's made from grass-fed beef protein isolate and egg white protein. And I would mix that with collagen because you apparently, like, you're not really going to get all the amino acids in the right quantities necessary from collagen for proper muscle building. And if he's really lifting a lot, then he probably needs that boost from either a pea protein or a beef protein isolate. Also, another cool thing that you can try is a goat milk protein. I think Terra, they make a goat milk protein powder. I am repulsed by anything goat, so I'm going to pass on that one. But I've heard that it's pretty good, and, if it does the trick and doesn't really give him digestive upset or whatever, then that's cool. I love protein powder. I'm one of those people that loves protein shakes, but like you said, Christina, I do think it's another way for people to drink sugary, sweet beverages. So I have to limit I have to limit my protein shakes or I'll just get out of control with the sugar cravings, especially since they're all sweetened with stevia or monk fruit, and they're all just like insanely sweet. So, so sweet.
Yeah.
But
I just
yeah.
I just really think that people are like too dependent. They feel like they work out and then they feel like they have to have a protein shake, and that's just like honestly it's more optimal to have real food because it's a slower insulin response. Like getting that having a liquid meal like spikes your blood sugar too quickly. And it's Rob Wolf has a ton of resources all about this, why it's like so much better to for muscle building to eat real food than a protein shake after or a protein powder or any liquid meal. And I just also find I just think that digestively protein powders can be really hard for people. And I also have found so many people literally just getting rid of their protein powder reduces their inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
all over. Like I know so many people who gain like weight in the form of like that puffy weight, like inflammation
Yeah.
weight. Just because they're including a protein powder, even if it's totally quote clean, just because their bodies don't process it well. And like protein isn't found in nature as powder for a reason. Like
Basically.
it's not supposed to like we're not supposed to just have like pure protein, you know? Um, I don't know. That's my spiel. But in my opinion, I mean, I'm all about vital proteins. So,
Yeah, basically. I pretty much agree with that. Just eat some real food, and if you need some sort of protein powder, then use those suggestions that we talked about. But I agree that people can get puffy and inflamed from protein powder, and removing it can be a really good tool. And basically, it's because it is a processed food, and if it's not treated properly, and the heat is like from the processing is denaturing it, or like you said, the processing makes it hard for you to personally digest, then you'll probably get some inflammation from that protein powder. And if you're eating it every single day, then that's probably no bueno. I have to catch myself from eating smoothies every single day. But yeah.
yeah, another thing I just want to say really quickly because I'm thinking about it is that be really careful that things are certified gluten-free. For example, one of my favorite protein powders was it's just literally just pumpkin seed protein. Like the ingredients are only pumpkin seed, right? And I found out that they actually aren't certified gluten-free.
Yeah,
So
and you
like,
can have like so many parts per million of gluten
yeah,
in there.
yeah. So like, and that can be true with other things. So even if you think it's just 100% pure hemp, even if it's just 100% pure pea, like I would do your research and like make sure that all of these things are certified gluten free because you literally can't even trust just like the ingredient label. Like they might not be certified.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone is sensitive, that can be causing other forms of inflammation as well, which is just another reason why it's better to stick with good old regular food or vital proteins. Hashtag not
Yup.
sponsored. Hashtag wish I was.
Yeah, I was gonna say
But what?
hashtag I wish. Hey, are you
Yeah.
listening? We love you.
Hey,
Okay.
no, they're not listening. I wish. Okay, cool. Let's move on to the next one.
Next question. Pulling it up here. So this question is from Emily, and she's 28 years old. And she said, "Can you talk more about how you were able to recover from a binge eating disorder? I've been struggling and binging restricting in the form of fasting or trying to eat Whole 30, which initially makes me feel so much better, but then after a week usually leads to obsessive thoughts, which starts the binge cycle again. I cut out gluten completely a year and a half ago, and most of my diet is pretty paleo friendly with the exception of hummus, which I love, and I don't think it affects me too badly besides the fact that I can consume large quantities of it. While I know that cutting out gluten was the right thing for my body and constant bloating issues, I'm worried that it's also a large cause of my obsession with food since I can't eat a lot of things in a quote normal diet. She says that she has Hashimoto's and takes levothyroxine. I can't read or pronounce anything today. My Hashimoto's was diagnosed from a goiter in my thyroid, not because I was feeling any major symptoms beside my constant bloating. Of course, my doctor just slapped a prescription pill on it, and I cut out gluten on my own after having lots of success by eating the paleo diet 80% of the time for the last few years. She exercises around 4 to 5 times a week with HIIT or a bar class 2 times a week, and running with like shorter intervals and some jogging too. She says she gets good sleep. She's mostly paleo 75 to 80% of the time and does not have gluten except for cross-contamination since I'm super strict about this. I can tolerate small amounts of gluten, dairy, and goat cheese. I know that sticking to a pure paleo Whole30 diet style would help me, but it only lasts for a week or so before throwing me into another binge. Please help. So, Emily, we got you. I have a lot of things to say about this. I wrote out like
Me too.
an extended bullet point list of things that I wanted to go over. First, I just kind of wanted to tell you how I stopped my binge sort of eating disorder that I didn't even know really was affecting me. This is going to sound really like duh kind of thing, but the way that I ended my binge eating disorder is I chose to stop binging. Like, I know that sounds weird and not what everyone else says, but I chose to stop binging. It's different than deciding to stop binging. What you're doing right now is you're deciding over and over again that you're going to stop binging. And deciding imply the actual root word of the term, like deciding, it means to like kill off. So if you have 2 choices, right? Your choice is to binge or to not binge on something, then you decide to not binge, you're killing off the option of binging. So now you only have one option. And if you break that word to yourself, you have so much guilt and so much shame associated to it. But if you change your language a little bit and you like choose to stop binging, then you have 2 options. You can either do it or you don't. And if you quote unquote fail, you just choose again. It's all like a game of choices. And I just chose every single day. I'd wake up and just choose to not binge on food. And the other thing that you can do is, these are all really like mindset tips, is to change your language. So we were just talking about how choosing to not binge on food. So saying that you're not going to binge is actually pretty destructive, because in the back of your mind, you're still thinking about binging. You're still telling your mind you're going to binge. You're just putting a not in front of it. And that's not really going to help you out in the long run. So we need to reframe the way that you talk to yourself and kind of like formulate in your head, what is the outcome that you want in all of this? Like, how do you want to feel at the end of this? What you can say instead is that instead of saying, I choose to not binge, you can say like something like, I choose to eat what my body needs. You know, and then that way you're not talking about binging anymore. You're talking about completely nourishing and fueling your body in whatever amount of food form that is. So ask yourself when you wake up, like, how much food do I need today? And just eat that much. And don't call it a binge. Don't call it a restriction. Just eat it. Like, I think we just really, there's a huge mindset thing here, and we're running these words in our head just over and over and over again that are so self-destructive. And it's not going to do you any better by sitting there and saying, I'm not going to binge today. I'm not going to binge today. You have to get rid of the language and start moving toward constructive language that's going to construct the future that you want, instead of keep reliving your past decisions over and over and over again. So I would kind of look into that a little bit more and just see the thoughts that you think in your head throughout the day when you think about food, and think about how you can reframe them to something more positive and more forward thinking. That's my first tip, pretty much.
Okay. So I have so much to say. I don't even know where to begin. I mean, I can absolutely I can and I will explain some things like what I did to get rid of my binge eating disorder, but I need more information from her. So I want to know like what she's binging on. And I want to know, and she may or may not know why she's binging. So there are different types of binges. There are purely emotional binges. There are also binges when you are just like, I literally feel so hungry and you binge. So, and she doesn't really explain. And so I'm
Yeah.
wondering what she's binging on because this is my thing. So I also think that a lot of, not all the time. So like I know that a big part of my binge eating disorder was rooted in my gut issues. Um, and it's not like that for everybody, but it is for many people and they don't realize it. For example, candida, I see a clear correlation between candida and binge eating disorder. Um, and for example, I see, so you have Hashimoto's. Like, I want to look at your gut and what's going on with your health first, just to make sure that's not like making you feel out of control because you have Hashimoto's, but you're not 100% gluten free, and you're also still including dairy, and you're saying that you're fine with it, but you might not be. That's dairy is really cross-reactive. For me, if somebody has Hashimoto's, I would say remove the gluten and dairy absolutely, like completely. You could still be inflaming your gut, and you could still be causing problems in your intestines and compromising the absorption of food. And if you're not fully absorbing your food, then you could be feeling hungry all the time, and that could be related to binging. Um, and also not even related to the types of foods you're eating is something I find really commonly with women is that they're literally binging just because they're not eating enough during the day. So if you're trying Whole30, you might be accidentally just cutting your calories so far down. So then you're really hungry. And then at night, all you want to do is eat all the food. And then you think, this is a binge because I'm sitting here eating all the food. When if you just like maybe doubled your portions during the day, you wouldn't be binging on things.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Oh, that makes
Like
a lot of
there's
sense, but I have a theory that this is not like a physical need for binging of food. I really think this is coming from an emotional an emotional perspective. Just I'm just going to assume based on the wording and everything that she kind of said that she feels restricted like when she goes on Whole30 because she can't eat a lot of things and it's not in a quote unquote normal diet. And to me it sounds like she just is having issues with like missing out on a normal diet and she lets that get to her and she starts binging. That's what
I
I
mean,
got.
I think could go either way. I don't know, because when I read it, I felt like this wasn't emotional at all for some reason.
Interesting.
Like that's why I was, but I mean, if it is an emotional thing, I mean, I just want to address that because I just think that people discount that there can be an actual physical thing going on as well. Um, there have been times in my life where I felt like I was binging and then I cleared my candida and then it just went away.
Yep. That happens.
Um,
Totally.
but there have also been times when I have binged and I know it was purely emotional. Um, and for example, I mean, for me, like I'll just go back to the how I got rid of it was like when I was in the thick of it, it was the same what Kara said. I woke up and I just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like my life has just gone out of control, like, and I stopped. And then I went on this journey to figuring out the real root cause because I was using food to just I was eating my feelings basically. And that meant working with different people. That meant a really good therapist. That meant talking it out. That meant doing a lot of self-care practices and a lot of walks with myself and a lot of meditation and just a lot of being in my own head and figuring out my own what I was missing in my life and trying to figure out because I have been using food to fill that void, and that's the hardest part is figure there's always a deeper reason why, you know,
Mm-hmm.
for yeah, so that's
I
basically
agree. I there is always a deeper reason why, and whether that is physical or mental, you kind of need to go and discover that, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So you have Hashimoto's. Most people with Hashimoto's have gut issues, like what Christina was saying. It's pretty much a given. If you have any sort of autoimmune disease, there's going to be gut issues there. So I would really focus on nourishing your gut and not looking at it from a place of restriction. Right now you're saying, that you would feel better if you're on some sort of Whole30 type diet, like you've done it and you feel awesome for the first couple weeks, but then you said you kind of fall off the wagon in the next couple weeks. Kind of take that into consideration with what Christina was saying, that are you eating enough on Whole30? And maybe you would not want to binge on food if you increased your portions, for sure. But then if you are still feeling restricted on a Whole30 diet, my question is, why are you doing Whole30? Why
Well,
would
that
you
was
do
my
that?
that was my thought. I'm like, why do you feel like you need to be on Whole30?
Yeah, you don't.
And this is what contributes to people this binge restriction cycle, because they're doing these behaviors that are like really restrictive, and then the complete opposite way. And why don't you just approach it with balance? Like for me, it's like you have Hashimoto's, so for your health, to manage that, you shouldn't be consuming gluten and dairy. That doesn't jump to I need to eat Whole30 all the time.
Right.
Whole30 wasn't designed to be like a lifelong diet. Whole30 was designed as a 30-day reset.
I mean,
and like
it's
you don't
not
need
called
to be
Whole
doing
365, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I mean, you don't need to put pressure on yourself to be on a Whole30 style diet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't.
Um,
You can just, like you said, you're gluten free. That's a really good step. So
mhm.
just stay gluten free. Maybe the next step is, I don't know if you eat grains or whatnot. You say mostly paleo, like 75 to 80% of the time. So maybe you take another small step, whatever that may be, cutting out dairy or cutting out a specific type of grain or something. Just take like another small step, but you don't need to go Whole30, because then once again, you mention a lot, just like in this whole question, that you can't eat things. You can't eat things, and you have to let go of that. You cannot keep saying to yourself that I can't eat it, because literally that creates a thought in your head that you want to eat it. Every time you say you can't eat something, it makes you want it more. So you have to change that. You have to say that you can eat it. And it looks like you are eating it. If you're binging on things, and you already are eating it. So it's not that you can't, it's that you're already doing it. So you can, and allow yourself and give yourself permission that you can eat that whenever you want. And later on down the road, this is what happened to me. I literally had to change that whole thing in my mind and stop telling myself that I can't, not eat, I don't know, ice cream or something like that. Because every time I said that I didn't want ice cream, I went out and bought ice cream, basically.
Yeah.
And when I gave myself permission to eat ice cream, what happened was, probably for the first month, I ate a lot of ice cream. But then after that, I don't really want it anymore. Maybe on occasion, once a month, once every couple weeks, but I don't crave it in that sort of like crazy binge-like mentality where you've like got to have it and you've got to eat it all right then and there. You can have a little bit more self-control. So once again, it's just not all about, but a lot of it, I'm just see it in your wording, is about reframing the way that you think about food. So, but there probably is a physical thing going on underneath as well, since you have Hashimoto's.
Yeah, and I mean that's another reason why I bring up like I'm wondering what she's binging on, because sometimes the things that we're binging on we feel addicted to because our bodies are reacting to them. So like food intolerances, oftentimes people like feel like they crave them and they feel addicted and they like binge on them. I've had that experience. That's not always true, but that's why I'm just wondering, especially if she's not strict about the cross contamination. I don't know. I just worry about that there's a physical, it's like making the emotional thing harder to get through, if that makes sense. Because when you have both of them at the same time, it can make it really hard to stop. But I agree with Kara, and I think that, I mean, we've heard it a million times before, and also I think both experienced it. Sometimes you just like, you give yourself the permission to eat all of the things, and then you just eat all the things, and then you're like, okay, I don't want all the things anymore, and then it goes away.
Yeah, we
Like,
say that a lot, but
it,
it's true.
it's, yeah, like it's not even just about like, I think that sometimes we say that and people don't put the connection that we mean like, when we say give yourself permission, that means yes, mentally, but like also so it's like you give yourself that permission fully, completely, and like if you still physically want it, like sometimes you like, I don't know, you might disagree with me on this, but like sometimes you like binge your way out of binge eating, if that makes sense.
I think it's different for everybody. That did
Yeah.
happen to me in the beginning because for a long time I just told myself that I can't, like when I went through hardcore keto, I told myself that I could not have sugar. Like
Hmm.
it was serious sugar restriction. And then once I allowed myself fully and completely to be able to eat sugar again, I totally binged on sugar. But I was so sick of it after like a couple weeks that I now have a pretty normal relationship with sugar. Like I never think about really restricting it for long periods of time or anything like that. Like I eat sugar when I feel like it and I
Except
don't
no
feel bad
sugar
at it.
November.
Well, that is more for a health purpose reset.
I'm just joking.
No,
I
I
just
know.
joking. No,
But
we know.
it's true.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I have a way more healthy relationship with food and sugar in general once I just gave myself permission to eat things. And you can still do that when you're on a protocol as well. Like I was on an AIP protocol for like I don't know, forever, 3 or 4 months, but I never told myself that I can't eat it. Like I can't eat nightshades or can't eat nuts or seeds. Once again, I'm choosing not to because of my health, because I really want to nourish and provide my body with like an optimal environment, and I wanted to try something new. So yeah, you have to keep reframing your mind around and then looking a little bit deeper into the physical things as well.
I think that it could also help her to maybe like, it's like always going back to the why. So like the things that I would suggest for you, like action items, is I would research how gluten affects Hashimoto's. Like just learn as much knowledge as you can about like scientific information about how gluten and dairy affect Hashimoto's. So you can really understand like why you're taking this out of your diet for like a medical health reason. Um, and also I think it really helps when people make a list of all the things that they feel like they can't have anymore. Because I swear to God, there is a paleo replacement for every single thing.
There really
Like
is.
there really is. And so it's like if you make a list and you really figure out like what do I feel like I can't have? Like if it's bread, do you know how many paleo? It's so easy to make paleo bread. Like it's so, and you could, there's tons of, you can buy paleo bread too. Like we were just talking to Meg about her flax bread. That's easy, like stuff like that. Or you can make nut butter bread, like, or if it's pancakes, there's so many paleo pancakes. It's like you, whatever you feel like you can't have anymore, and that's where like there's no need for you to go to Whole 30. You know what I'm saying? Like Whole 30 that like says you can't have those replacement foods. Like if you're feeling really restricted by the fact that you can't eat gluten, like then let's figure out a way that you don't have to feel restricted. So you just eat those same foods just without gluten,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
I completely agree. I think that could totally help. Um, I just think that could help. I don't really have like a whole lot to say on this one because really what I did was overnight I just changed my mindset. And I literally in my journal, I read a book first of all. Oh man, I read that book so long ago that I don't even remember what it was called. But I read a really great book basically, and I'll put it in the show notes for you guys about binging. And it's a really different perspective on binge eating disorders, and it's really great. So I'm gonna put it in the show notes for you if you're interested. And I literally just woke up one day, I got into my journal, I wrote down like why I am like stopping binging, and then I wrote down, well, first I wrote down all the reasons why I am binging. Like, why do you feel like you're binging on food? And then I wrote down all of the reasons why I'm going to stop. Then I wrote down how I wanted to feel instead. And it was just like word vomit. It was just like saying all the things in my life that I never really said what could be contributing to this. And then I wrote down what I wanted to feel like instead, what I wanted that to look like, what I wanted that to sound like. Like, I created a full picture, like a full movie, basically, of what I wanted to be. And then every day I woke up, I saw that picture in my head of what I wanted to be in, and I worked towards it. I chose it. That's what I did. And I didn't really do anything super tangible or tricky, or like, I didn't eat a bunch of fat to cut my sugar cravings. Like, I literally worked on my mindset every single day. And right now, like Christina said, you don't have to be Whole30. It's not meant to be a whole 365. Just be paleo, find some paleo substitutes, figure out like why you think you're binging, what you want to be instead, and just really focus on that. And becoming educated, like Christina said, is really, really important, because if you don't really understand like why it is important to cut out either gluten or grains or dairy, then you may not be as successful with that as well. And that's why I also think working with somebody could be like a functional medicine doctor or something could help, because they could provide you that educational piece as well. And I don't know if you need any sort of external accountability, but I also discovered about myself that I'm somebody that needs external accountability in order to stick to something. Then that's where having a practitioner can really come in handy as well, because there's definitely accountability there.
Yeah, I agree with all that. And I also do want to just offer some in the moment things that you can do to help. If you know that it's not an undernourishing thing, I really want to emphasize that please make sure you're eating enough during the day. Most people think that they're eating more than enough, and they're not. I find this with so many of my clients. As soon as they start eating enough during the day, they don't feel like they need to binge. If you're certain that it's not that, like if you're certain it's purely an emotional thing, at the end of the day, you're going to have to figure out like the root of that emotional thing. You're going to have to deal with that. But like that can sometimes take a long time and be a lot of work. And so in the moment, some things that can help are sometimes what you're just kind of looking for something to do, and you turn to food. So sometimes just like drinking tea instead, can be something. Like sometimes like I used to think I would want to binge on like a piece of cake, and then I'd have a cup of tea, and then it just like went away. I just like wanted something to sip on. I just like, wanted some flavor, and I wasn't really hungry. Another thing is like just like doing something else, especially like with your hands, or calling somebody, giving yourself some like an emotional connection to another human, or if no one's there in person, or just talking to somebody. I know some people who like to draw or doodle, or in that moment journal. Like in that moment, like pull out your journal and start writing everything that comes to mind, how you're feeling. And like sometimes you start doing these things, and then that what you think was hunger goes away if it wasn't true hunger.
Those are all good tips.
So those are just some things in the moment that I find can help with a lot of my clients. Have found that helps. And honestly, sometimes if there's a certain food that like you feel like is like a trigger food, I would just take it out of the house.
Yep.
While you're dealing with this.
Yeah, it really it does.
Don't leave it in the house. Like if there's a trigger food, like don't put it there. Like until you work and it doesn't mean that you can never have it the rest of your life, but it's like right now that food obviously isn't doing you any good. It's not making you feel good. Obviously, otherwise if it made you feel good, you wouldn't be worried about this, right? So if you have a trigger food, I would just remove it for right now until you do that deeper inner work where it doesn't have that power over you. And like because you have to realize like it's just food, right? Like, and you are giving it power, right? By saying that, like you feel like you're out of control with it. So you are the human, you know?
Yeah.
You're bigger. So that's what I have to say about that.
Yes. You have more tangible tips than I do. I feel
my
experience is just different.
Yeah. Well, this is like, I I feel like my specialty with my clients. Like,
Yeah, this is really
because
what you deal with.
I deal with a lot of eating disorder clients, and the most common one has been cheating, from what I see. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, those are my top tips. You can
Cool.
get through it. Thank you for
Yes,
sending in that question
you
because
can.
a lot of people struggle with this. So
Yeah.
don't feel like you're alone. Okay, do you want to just do this last one kind of quickly?
Yeah, let's do it. I think we'll have a lot to say about it, but we can we can condense
Oh,
it.
do you want to save it or
No, let's do it.
okay? Um, I'll read it. What is your opinion on following food, health, wellness bloggers that begin to promote products that don't necessarily align with your opinions? I have been following along and interacting with the wellness health community on Instagram and blogs for a few years now, and it has been amazing to see some of my favorite influencers evolve and grow. Some, however, I think have become more concerned with numbers in terms of likes, followers, comments, and even payments. Some of my OG bloggers that I first discovered in this space are promoting brands and products that don't really align with their previous advice or health info. It's unfortunate because I know these people are truly good-hearted people who wouldn't want to cause harm to anyone. And I'm trying to be considerate in that maybe they truly need the money and are willing to compensate a little. For example, one blogger I follow and love has started promoting a certain nut butter. Nothing against nut butters, but this one contains many extras to enhance its taste and obviously to reach a wider range of consumers. But this blogger promotes health. She supports the science behind sugar-free. She promotes balanced and mindful lifestyle. I can tell she is genuinely a good person. So what do you know in these circumstances? Do you continue supporting them despite some of their compensations? What are your opinions on bloggers or influencers promoting brands and products that don't necessarily classify as a health food, or people who have evolved their brands over time in such a way that deems these products as acceptable?
This is a good
Yeah.
question.
Woo! Yeah.
Like,
What
this
do you
is
what
a
do you
really
think?
good
What do you think,
question.
Sarah?
You know, this is a question that I actually ask myself a lot. I really do. I love Instagram and bloggers, and I love watching people and reading their content and all of this. But every once in a while, you scroll across an ad on your Instagram, and you're like, "What? Why? Why are they advertising for?" I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Whatever it is that you don't believe again. And for me, it was like some yogurt or some oatmeal that I saw in somebody's feed.
Chobani.
Yeah, Chobani. And I was like, what? I was like, are you actually serious right now?
Yeah.
And I'm like, so do I unfollow this person or do I not? And here's the thing, you're never, ever going to agree 100% with what anyone says. Anyone. Whether that's your mom, your boyfriend, your sister, these Instagrammers, whatever. This doesn't make them a bad person, and I think you know that. Like you said yourself, you know they're probably good people. Like, this doesn't make them a bad person for, wanting to make a little bit of extra money. However, when does it cross the line of being deceptive? You know, when what ad pushes it a little too far to making it more deceptive? I don't know. Like, I don't know the answer to this question. The only thing I really have to say is take responsibility for yourself and know yourself. And if they're promoting something that you don't agree with, then shrug it off. And if you know yourself well enough, like, you're not going to partake in that. Like, the ads, they probably do influence a lot of people. Like those Chobani ads, I don't know how many people bought yogurt after those ads or whatever. They influence a lot of people. But if you know yourself and you know what works well for you, then you're not going to let that affect you. So you can choose to follow them or you can choose to not from that point. And I don't think it's really going to affect them or you either way. Personally, I continue to follow them because I just like their content. I just like to look at it from an entertainment point of view. And like, it's like if you watch TV and you see a commercial and you're just like, ugh, I hate this commercial. I do not agree with like whatever, this Cheez-It commercial. Are you going to stop watching your favorite show, Bachelorette? No. You're not going to stop watching Bachelorette just because of the Cheez-It commercial, right? So, I mean, it's for me, the Instagram, I see it the same way. Like, why would you unfollow them just because of a yogurt ad? I don't know. That's my take on it. But I just know myself and I understand that all of this to me is an entertainment point of view, and that's how I see it. And I don't really see it as like learning things from these that sounds really bad, but like I don't see it as learning stuff from all these Instagrammers. I just like what they post and it's fun to me, but that's it.
So, my opinion, first of all, like the answer to this question, like we can't answer this for you. At the end of the day, you have to decide who you do and don't want to follow. If you want like our personal opinions of who we follow and stuff, so Kara just explained hers. I have a different outlook because I get really, really angry. I think it depends on why you follow someone. So Kara people like for more entertainment, right? Like, but there are a lot of people who follow. If you're following somebody for like health advice, purely for health advice, and they're promoting things that aren't healthy, then you should probably unfollow them.
Yeah, if that's your intent. Yeah.
If that's like your, I mean, that's just logical, right? For me, it's more complicated because I don't follow people. Certain people I follow like for entertainment, I guess, but I view who I follow, like for me, the people I follow, a follow for me means I support you and I love what you're doing. And if somebody is promoting a product that I absolutely know is not healthy and that they absolutely do not use, then I don't want to support that because authenticity is everything to me. And like, I've just had so many personal experiences that I just like, I find it offensive and I know how many people get duped. I guess I get upset when I know health influencers promote unhealthy products because then I know I feel like these health influencers don't realize how it's affecting people's health. And then we get questions from people or we get clients who have tried to follow these healthy bloggers and it's totally messed up their digestion or their blood sugar or something because they thought it was healthy. And that kills me. It kills me that all of these people who are looking to these people for advice because these people are like genuinely are trying to improve their health are being duped by these bigger bloggers. Like it just boils my blood, you know, because these bigger bloggers want money. But at the same time, I understand that the bloggers need money to be able to do what they do. Like, but I just think it's every influencer's responsibility to only promote products that like they actually like, I guess, that at the end of the day, like that's how I feel. And I don't want to support somebody who just promotes something just for money.
Yeah.
That's how I feel personally. And that does, everybody else has to feel that way. But that being said, there are a few people that I follow who I know promote things that they don't use, they don't like, that it's like a BS promotion, but I follow it and I continue following for a different reason. I follow because I want to know what they're saying usually so I can go say the truth after they say the fake or I follow them because like for some other reason, like there are some people who I just think are freaking hilarious and I follow their personality and I just won't pay attention to their Instagram and I only watch their stories because I don't want to see their ads, you know? So it just depends what you're looking for from someone.
Yeah, and I'm not going to lie, like, I get pissed at some of the ads that I see. I'm like, come on, you know better. Like, I literally, like, I get mad. Yeah, but...
Or it's just, like, I get mad when it's, like, if you're going to promote something that's, like, just be real about what you're promoting. Like, I've seen bloggers, for example, like, I've seen bloggers promote, like, say a dairy yogurt, but they're just, like, yeah, like, I don't eat this every day, but I like it as, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Go, cool, awesome. That's like real. That's real to me. Or like, you know, if it's a sugary product, they're like, oh, this is whatever. But I don't like when people pretend like the products they're promoting are things that they're not. Like when they're promoting these products with a ton of sugar in them and they're like, look at how great these ingredients are. They're totally clean. Like I eat this every day. And I'm like, no, you don't. The ingredients aren't clean. You know, it's like you don't need, you can promote something in like, you can promote the same product in like different ways and get a very different response from me personally. You know, like a health blogger is allowed to eat products that have like, okay, so she's saying like some people who promote this girl promoting the nut butter, maybe this nut butter has sugar and stuff and this girl promotes sugar free. Like to me, I mean, I don't know enough information, but I'm like, well, just because she promotes sugar-free lifestyle doesn't mean that she is saying you can never eat sugar.
Exactly.
You know, like, and maybe she's like promoting, maybe it's a delicious yummy nut butter that she likes to have on occasion, or is she, but on the other hand, I'm like, is she showing this every day and acting like, oh, you can eat this every day and be cool? Because then, yeah, that would be BS,
I think it's just all about, like you're saying, the authenticity. Like, what kind of vibe do you get from that person? Like, do you feel like this is inauthentic or out of character or whatever? And if that for you is enough to be like, you've lost my support there, then unfollow them. Like, if you feel like it's inauthentic, do it. Unfollow them. You don't have to follow them. They'll get some more followers. It's all good. But yeah, I completely agree with that. And I do think it is really deceptive sometimes what these ads do. But that's why I'm more on the side of personal responsibility. And I believe that everybody should just take responsibility for themselves. There are ads all over the place and they influence everyone. And the reason they're influencing people is because people are not responsible for themselves. People are not doing their research. People are not testing things out to see how it feels on your body. They're not asking other people's opinions. They're just like, they see an ad, they like it, they get it. And that's how it is. And I think that we just need to have more responsibility. We need to do our research. We need to ask people, look into things before we want to try something out. And, that's basically it. That's basically my advice.
I agree. And I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Like, the same way we vote with our dollar when it comes to food and what we want to see, it's the same with, like, we vote with our follows. Like, if you don't want to if you don't like what somebody's doing, like, then I would say stop following them, stop reading their stuff, because that, like, gives them more numbers and gives them more power. And that's kind of, I mean, Instagram has become this business and it can be really nasty, and the behind the scenes, unfortunately, can be really sad sometimes, not with everybody, but often with the biggest bloggers, it can be a little dicey. And if you want to, the way you take a stand in that, like, if you're in your head, you're like, stop promoting these products that aren't actually healthy, I don't like this anymore. The way you take a stand is by taking away your follow, in my opinion. And
the more people that you follow that you, like, get pissed at or you feel like is inauthentic, the more inauthenticity and anger you're welcoming into your life. Like, it's like the people that's saying that you surround, whoever your friends are, like, reflect you, basically, kind of like that with the people that you follow too. Like, the way that you feel about your followers or the people that you follow, really can reflect your outward life, and you can start attracting some more of that in your life. I noticed that with me in particular when I followed a lot of people that I didn't necessarily, like, agree with, and I wasn't very happy with their stuff all the time, but for some reason I just, like, kept following them. I noticed that my life was a lot more chaotic. And when I just unfollowed all of those people, and now I really just follow all the people that I like to see their stuff. And even if they post some stuff that pisses me off every once in a while, it's not a big deal to me. But once I really just decluttered and got rid of all that junk, my life felt better. I know it's like woo-woo and weird, but it's like one of those what goes around comes around thing. And where attention goes, energy flows. That's a good saying. So if your attention is going on all these people that you don't like on social media, your energy will flow that way and it will reflect back in your life. And like Christina said, you are pretty much paying with your like, or paying with your follow, and you're saying that you want to see more of that in the world. So there's a lot of different ways that you can look at this, for sure.
Yeah, I agree with everything Kara said. So, I mean, that's kind of all I have to say about that.
Me too. I wish we could tell you what to do, but...
And I also think that, like, I want to say, like, getting to know people through their stories, for example, can really help you get to know the person, and that can help me make a judgment on how genuine they are. But sadly, I also know a lot of bigger influencers who, like, act one way on their like, they literally put on a show. Or they
curate the stories.
Yeah, they put on a show. Like, a lot of people I've met in real life, and they are not what they are on social media, which is sad but true. And if you ask other influencers, I'm sure they'll tell you the same thing. So it's hard. You just got to make your best judgment. And at the end of the day, like, you decide how you're going to respond to these things. Like, if anything in life, if something is making you feel unsettled, you don't like it, like you decide how you're going to respond to that, right? Like, are you going to give that power, or are you going to like take a stand by not giving it power?
Basically,
you know?
Yeah. 100%.
So 100%. Cool. Well, that was good. That was good, right?
That was a really good one. Talked about a lot of random stuff that didn't relate at all. I loved it.
I personally like when it's random, because we kind of just like go all over the place versus like, I don't know.
Having a specific theme.
Yeah. So.
I dig it. Okay.
Fun.
Well, that was it. Happy Thursday, guys.
Happy Thursday. When this goes out, right now as we're recording this, Halloween is tomorrow. But I hope you guys had a great Halloween, and I hope you are safe, and I hope you
ate all the chocolate.
Ate all the chocolate.
And now you're going to join my No Sugar November, because, you've eaten all the chocolate now, and you're done. I don't know that for sure.
You're going to join my whole 365 that I've been on.
Yeah, Christina is a whole 365.
Oh, God, yeah. Almost done. We'll see. But, yeah, so definitely join our Facebook group if you haven't already. Straight Up Paleo Pals. It's so much fun. There are a lot of incredible women in there.
Indeed.
And I think we have one man. We have Kara's boyfriend.
No, I know there's another guy too.
Oh, is there?
I know that there's another guy, but he's talked like one time.
Okay, if you're a guy, you gotta speak up in there, so we can.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Just start a thread in there. We gotta know who you are.
Yeah, awesome.
Cool.
All right, well, thanks for listening, and make sure you subscribe as well. It's free, and leave a rating and a review on iTunes and or Stitcher. It helps us a lot, and we just really want to get the word out about the podcast, spread the love, all the fun things.
Yes. So thank you guys for listening. This is episode 10. Can you believe 10 weeks have already gone by?
Woo!
Just want to show some major love. Yeah, sir. We're finally in the double digits here. Yes. Just wanted to show some major love for everyone who listens. Go tell your grandma, your mom, your friends, your sister, and join our Facebook group. We love you.
All right. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.